Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to wherever you are. So, today I'll speak about something that we can help the way we experience and see life, and that will be trying out new things. So, let me ask a question. When was the last time you did something new, like trying out a new skill or going traveling out somewhere or trying out a new food or doing something you've never experienced to explore? So the thing is that we're also comfortable with the comfort of like our routine and what we do on a day-to-day basis. It feels good to ourselves, but staying like so long in that routine can make like life kind of boring for us, and that's why some of us can like struggle with like consistency and of things like that. And when we try out new things, life becomes more like exciting, more meaningful, and like more fulfilling towards us as we step out towards like a new unknown that could help us in our own experiences. So I'll be speaking about a few reasons why like trying out new things is very important. So growth usually happens when you step out your comfort zone. So, like, remember the first time like you ever rode like a bike, or when you drove for the first time, or traveled somewhere for the first time? Do you remember that feeling and how special that was? Like, it was probably like really like nerve wracking, but the minute you like learn how to drive correctly or bike correctly or new skill, you felt so proud of yourself. Like, you felt so excited, you felt so rewarding that you were like, damn, I finally got this down, and this is everything that I've been working up towards, you know. But the thing is that that experience, that feeling, wouldn't have happened if you never like took that first step into the unknown, which a lot of people find very scary, because it's an unknown territory towards us. So the thing is that every time we try out something new, we are able to stretch ourselves out in terms of our perspective, our perception, and it helps us as like growth. And this doesn't like apply to like learning new skills and going trying out new things or trying out new foods. It also helps in like careers, personal growth, and relationships, whether if it's with your family or a loved one. You know what I mean? So another topic that I will be speaking about is like trying new things could help you find out new passions that you've never realized from before. So the thing is that we've all heard like all these famous people who like never thought they'd enjoy what they do, but the minute they like worked on it, they ended up falling in love with it. There's athletes, artists, and a whole bunch of entrepreneurs out there that didn't discover that passion like immediately off rip, but they discovered new things by trying it out, you know? And the thing is that all of those popular people, like, they're no different than like us regular citizens, human beings. Because at the end of the day, we're all human beings. We all have the same body functions. You know what I mean? But yeah. So the same. It really just proves that the same could happen for any one of us. So maybe if you ever tried about trying something new, don't be afraid to try it out, even if it's like steps at a time. And I would say the biggest thing is that don't judge yourself so harshly or compare yourself to somebody that's been so good at doing it, because at the end of the day, you're at your own pace. You know what I mean? You shouldn't really judge yourself based off somebody else's success. And that's really arbitrary. So as long as you compare you to yourself, what you were a day ago, a week ago, or a month ago, you really feel satisfied and fulfilled with the progress you have made, you know? So next time, like an opportunity shows itself, think about like whether if you really want to do that or not, you know, in whatever form it comes up in. So the thing is that going into the unknown, it usually means like there's a chance of you failing at it, meaning that you might not be as good as it. And that's the hard part. And all of us have been there. All of us have ran towards a path where we've tried out something and it just is really hard. And a lot of us really back away in fear from it because we're not good from it. And we don't feel good about ourselves from it. But really, like, failure should be something that is like embraced, like something that should be like looked upon in a bright way to an extent, because then you really learn more about yourself. Because remember that, like, when you fail or try out something that doesn't work out, it's a learning process in life in many ways. Because the thing is that every time you fail, you gain really good lessons that make you like more resilient, more stronger, and you gain more information of for yourself or from others. Like a very popular person, the person that invented the light bulb, Thomas Edison. He has a very famous quote, and it says he said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." And that didn't like failure didn't let him stop. He used failure as fuel to keep on going. And back in his time for Thomas Edison, people thought he was crazy because of the new creativity he has had for trying to make a light bulb. They thought of him as crazy. And because of his resilience, we literally have a light bulb in our houses. Think about that. And the same for so many other inventions. Think about all that. So the next thing I'll be speaking about is trying new things usually broadens your perspective. So when we expose ourselves to new experiences, we don't just learn about the world, we learn more about ourselves and others around us, around the world. So like traveling to a new country, learning about different cultures, or even trying out a new type of food can like change the way we see things in our lives. And this is important because when we like step outside of what we know from our own basis and what we see, we develop a more deeper understanding, more like empathy, and appreciate like the different ways that people live lives across the world. And you become more open-minded, and you really think in ways that you never really thought of before, when you can connect with other peoples in those ways, which is really nice. So just one thing you always need to remember is that like trying something new that makes you a little uncomfortable, like it could be anything, something that you never think of you'd ever do in your life, you know? But doing that thing could change your view or perspective in a certain way, even if it's slightly or in a large quantity, you know? So the last thing is to always remember is that like just remember that success isn't about avoiding failure. It's about embracing the process, trying new things, and persisting despite setbacks. You know, so that is all for today's video. I'd like to thank everybody for watching. We got our first few subscribers, and I'm pretty proud about that. I'll keep on consistently uploading, and I'll see where it goes. And if you have any ideas, any comments about anything, just let me know in the comments. And until then, have a good one. Peace.